My main job is I do a cleaning job which starts in the morning. It's basically a morning job, which I get 25 hours, which it can vary, so they can offer me extra. There is a lot of chopping and changing of hours at last minute, which you really need to accommodate as well. Particularly just now, because quite a lot of people are off sick or they lose staff. So you need to be quite flexible, which is not great when you're trying to plan. Or, I've got two daughters as well. So yeah, it's a cleaning job, but I get picked up from it, and I quite enjoy it in some aspects. So I work for a lady who basically gives me 6 hours a week, and I go and clean her house. I've been doing that for about 5 years. Um, I normally do that later in the afternoon. I try and do everything before my daughter finishes school. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way, particularly because my other job, my main job's been getting changed a lot. And obviously, it's not ideal, but I'm having to kind of juggle my daughters. I like to be there all the time for them, but um, it is important that obviously I work. So, yeah, I left school, went into House of Fraser, um, and then I think circumstances of me just being on my own, I've ended up, it was easier to do a cleaning job just in terms of starting early, finishing earlier. Um, Once you have children and you're on your own, your confidence isn't that high.
Mm.
And the rate of pay is pretty similar to standing in a shop. And it's been that way of life for so long that, even when they were younger, it's a bit of a blur. When you end up being a single parent and then getting yourself back into work, you just find it, you kind of need to do it, so you get on with it. That part of it, you're just hoping that you never get a call from the nursery or school, um, and it was all just a lot of stress and a lot of juggling in the early years that probably wasn't ideal. Probably I was a lot more stressed as a parent. Um, I feel not that I can relax now, but things are definitely a lot easier. It's a bit better now, but you're just hoping they never get sick or anything because
Mm.
you're dreading making that phone call. And then obviously not getting paid and things like that was never ideal. Um, Obviously, we're going through a cost of living crisis just now, so I'm not saying there's loads of money, but things seem to be actually better now than they were. And I don't know if I've just got better at managing things and, making meals stretch out and things like that. I've been doing it for so long now that, yes, I do notice the difference in the supermarkets for the prices, but you just become a bit of an expert of just doing everything on your own and making things work. My mum's got a lung condition, so it deteriorates, and yeah, I go there at least once a week. So she does less for us now. We do more for her. But I guess you'd class me as a primary carer. She has now got carers going in, with kind of minimum help. Sometimes you can feel a bit stretched when you're thinking, I've actually got the four things to do today. That might be a day that I need to see my mum, drop something into a neighbour, and go to two jobs. Then obviously deal with family life.
I know, yeah.
So it can feel a bit, some days that you feel a bit burnt out. I don't know what the next 20 years will look like health wise. I don't know, um, financially how everything will look. I try not to think too far ahead because I think it would probably give me a bit of anxiety. You know, is it the life I should have or would have mapped out for myself? Probably not. But in the same situation, I don't dwell on it because I work with lots of people that have got really not great situations, and um, financially they just seem to be really struggling, and you can see it in their health. So I think, well, I'm managing it all and I don't hate it. And I guess my viewpoint is maybe that should be enough. I'd like that peace of mind of being able to save a bit and to know that I had a wee nest egg, that I'm not always kind of fighting fire to try and find money for a holiday, etc., etc. It seems like you get, a bit of money together for one thing and then another thing crops up. But I guess that's the same with everybody. It's just kind of life. When you're in this situation, you just live day to day. But I don't dwell on it, and I just think quite happy I've got my health to a degree, and I've got my family. So could be a lot worse.